Hello everyone, Ozzymitsu here and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, I wanted to make you all aware I've recently made a Discord server where Pokefans alike can come together and discuss all things Pokemon, or just have an all-round good time. If you're interested, the link to the server has been provided in the description below. Join the server and become an Ozzywatt today. I've also been streaming on Twitch a lot and currently playing through Pokemon Platinum. Make sure you're following me on there to keep up to date. The link to my Twitch channel is also in the description. So with all of the self-promo out the way, today we're revisiting the regional variants as part of my ongoing Evolution Solution series. On the last episode, we explored the different forms of Deoxys. To milk those views! Yeah, there's no views on this channel. If you're new here, this series has recently expanded in which I discuss, compare and analyse Pokemon who are either part of the same evolutionary line or have some sort of close-knit bond. If you want to familiarise yourself with the series as a whole, I've placed a link to the entire playlist in the description below. However, it'll also show up on the iCard on the top right hand corner of your screen for your convenience. During Alola month, I discussed 3 of the regional variants found in Alola, but I'm still yet to cover 5 more, so I thought I'd remedy this by discussing Marowak and Alolan Marowak. Be sure to leave a comment below stating which regional variant you want to see next, and the most popular comment will be the one I'll consider doing next. But I've rambled on long enough, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's get this analysis underway. Let's start with Kantonian Marowak. Hey Rotom, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Just call me Becky. Also, where are your manners, Ozzy?
Oh, okay Becky. Could you tell us a little bit more about Kantonian Marowak, please?
Marowak, the Bonekeeper Pokemon. Originally it was weak and timid. After evolution its temperament becomes violent and it begins to wield bones as weapons.
Oh boy, you don't want to mess with this little guy. It evolves from Cubone starting at level 28. It is a pure ground type, which means it is weak to water, grass and ice. It takes no effect from electric type attacks, whilst resisting poison and rock. Overall, the ground type is quite possibly one of the best offensive typings in the game. But does this really benefit Kantonian Marowak when we look at its abilities? One of its primary abilities is Rockhead. This prevents recoil damage from moves such as Double Edge. Its secondary ability is Lightning Rod, which draws all electric type attacks towards it and raises its special attack. And even if Marowak is immune to electric type attacks, it'll trigger its ability first to raise that special attack, so it's often used as a good switching tactic. Kantonian Marowak's hidden ability is Battle Armor. This prevents any Pokemon with this ability from being affected by critical hits, which can prove to be quite handy. I do want to talk more about this in a moment, but first let's review its stats so we can analyse its abilities holistically. So we can see that Marowak appears to excel in physical defense with a base 100 defense stat, has a base 80 attack stat, but there's nothing else to it. Marowak is outclassed by other ground types such as Swampert and Garchomp in terms of offense, and Donphan seems like a safer choice if you wish to use ground types to set up rocks or go for a quick priority ice shard. Looking at Marowak's learn set, it mainly learns physical attacking moves, but via egg moves does get access to moves like Iron Head, which can come in quite handy for those ice types. Reviewing Marowak as a whole, like I said before, its stats coupled with its abilities aren't really anything to write home about. Whilst Lightning Rod and Rockhead are really good abilities, I don't really feel like Kantonian Marowak benefits from them as effectively as other Pokemon with this ability do, with Double Edge being its only recoil move it gets access to. Not only this, its mediocre stats really make Marowak a really tricky Pokemon to use. However, an exclusive item you can give Marowak is Thick Club, which doubles its attack, making it a little bit more useful in competitive play. Let's hop on to Pokemon Showdown to see how we can use this little guy in battle. What I was thinking is make use of its low base speed in doubles, have your ally use Trick Room, and Marowak can protect on the first turn. Then you can run Earthquake for stab, as well as Iron Head for coverage, as well as Rock Slide to hit both of your opponents. And who knows, you may get some flinches, which would be really nice. Have you hold the Thick Club so you can try and OHKO any neutral hits. With regards to which ability to go for, I'd probably run Lightning Rod on this occasion as a potentially safe switch in, or to protect a potential flying type ally from any electric type attacks. In terms of the EVs, I was thinking to max out its defense and physical attack, and the rest in hit points, and Adamant would be the best nature to go for here. In singles, it's a bit more of a tricky Pokemon, however, this is what I came up with. Invest its EVs in max HP and attack, but give some speed investment just in case you are going up against a generally slow Pokemon you can try and outspeed, and if they're specially defensive walls like Chansey, who can't take any physical hits, even better. I was thinking opt for the Rockhead ability here with Thick Club again, running Substitute, Bone Meringue, Fire Punch and Double Edge. Opting for the Impish nature would generally be a safe option. Reviewing Kantonian Marowak as a whole, its offensive typing does suit it quite well, given the circumstances. Rock Head being an ability which complement hyper offensive Pokemon does work really well, but with Marowak it's just a shame the main move you'll see being run here is Double Edge, but Kantonian Marowak can easily fit any niche in your team, especially if you're going for a super all-out offensive Trick Room team. Let's move on to Alolan Marowak. Becky, can you tell us a little bit more about Alolan Marowak? Oh, please.
In the Alola region, Marowak was faced with an abundance of its natural enemies, grass-type Pokemon. This harsh environment led it to bond closely with its friends, which is said to have created a sort of sixth sense and caused it to take on a new form.
Man, I love the Alola region. If that isn't fascinating, I don't know what is. Alolan Marowak evolved from Cubone starting at level 28, provided it has been leveled up at night. It undergoes quite the transformation from a ground type into a fire ghost type.
I want a mom to take my hand and make me feel like a holiday.
This typing makes Alolan Marowak weak to ground, rock, ghost, water and dark. While its normal and fighting type moves have no effect on it, it also resists poison, steel, fire, grass, ice, fairy, and has a quarter resistance to bug type moves. Alolan Marowak shares one of its primary abilities with its Kantonian counterpart in Lightning Rod, which we've already mentioned. However, its secondary ability is Cursed Body. When a Pokemon with this ability is hit by a damaging move, there is a 30% chance that Cursed Body will disable this move. This is very situational but can come in very handy. Unlike Kantonian Marowak, in order to obtain Rock Head as its ability, it would need to be accessed as its hidden ability, and like we mentioned earlier, Rock Head allows any Pokemon with this ability to use moves that usually cause recoil damage to be ignored. When looking at Alolan Marowak's base stats, they're completely identical to its Kantonian counterpart, and looking at its moves it can learn through level up, we can see it is very similar, but does have the added bonus of naturally learning extra fire and ghost type moves, of course because of its typing. I have some more points I wish to compare with these two, but before we get into that, let's quickly get into some potential movesets for Alolan Marowak. I would go for the massive raw damage with Flare Blitz coupled with its Rock Head ability, meaning it will take no recoil damage, as well as Shadow Bone, Bone Meringue and Will-O-Wisp if you feel you won't take your opponent out but want to reduce their physical attack before going down. Of course, hold the Thick Club with the Adamant nature, max attack, max defense and 4 EVs in HP and you're good to go. In doubles, you can go for a very unorthodox set, making use of its Lightning Rod ability, where you can team it up with a Pokemon who spams Discharge, raising your special attack, and you can run moves such as Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. I haven't personally tried this one out, but it seems like a lot of fun to use. Reviewing the two from an analytic standpoint, in terms of typing, I feel like Alolan Marowak wins here. Having more weaknesses doesn't really matter if you're running a hyper offensive Pokemon, and even if its speed isn't great, using Protect on the first turn in doubles, whilst your ally sets up Trick Room is always an option. The only thing that Kantonian Marowak has over its regional variant is that it can get stabbed from EQ. In terms of a move pool, it's a no-brainer. Alolan Marowak wins here. Getting access to moves like Flare Blitz and Shadow Bone, two very hyper offensive moves with good base power, means even a resisted hit on a lot of Pokemon will do a lot of damage. In terms of their abilities, although they share similar abilities, I feel like Alolan Marowak uses them more effectively. Granted, Cursed Body and Lightning Rod are very situational. Its Rock Head ability is almost always ran over them because it's just so much more useful, especially as mentioned previously due to getting access to moves like Flare Blitz. Kantonian Marowak does make use of Rock Head pretty well, but in my opinion, Alolan Marowak outclasses Kantonian Marowak in every single department. The fact Alolan Marowak has been dominating in the OU tier, whilst Kantonian Marowak only does well in PU, speaks volumes about the matter. But taking its competitive usefulness out of the question, I still prefer Alolan Marowak. I love its design, I absolutely love the way it rubs its bone it wields against its forehead to create a beautiful green flame. I really enjoyed the way it appeared in Kiawe's trial with the 3 Marowak, the way they were dancing and you had to spot the differences. It just was a really nice touch. What about you, Becky?
I'm just a robot, I don't have what you humans call opinions. Why not ask your Ozzymitsu which of the two they prefer, seeing as pitting 2 Pokemon together and ranking them is what you humans seem to do.
Wow. So, guys, which of the two do you prefer?
I love Alolan Marowak!
I love Alolan Marowak.
Fuck you, Ozzymitsu.
I think I'm gonna sit down in a corner and cry. I want my mommy!
silly human. And with all of that being said, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave this video a big thumbs up, as that really helps Ozzy out, as well as subscribing to his channel to become an Ozzymic today. Although, why would you want to do that? Don't forget to follow him on Twitter and his other social media platforms, which have been linked in the description. And with all of that being said, we'll probably be back if Ozzy can be bothered to upload again. Goodbye.